Hey, good morning to everybody. A happy Sunday. It's Daryl here. It's bright and freaking early. It's 7 a.m. here in Connecticut on the East Coast. I'll say it once again, I was not planning on making this video. As you can see, I just walked in the door and something happened on my walk. And this is one of those things, at first I didn't think, I didn't really think much of it. I was kind of analyzing what happened. And then I want to share this with you guys. And it's not to sound like I think I'm a tough guy or people should be scared of me or anything like that. The reason I want to talk about this is because I'm willing to bet that this happens to similar kind of things happen to hundreds of thousands of people across this country every single day. And it's just an interesting thing. I'm not angry, and you'll see what I'm talking about in a second. Usually I try to wait about 30 seconds before I drop any swear words. Like I said, I just walked back in the door. I was on my walk. Now it's Sunday morning. It's about 7 a.m. So nobody's in a big hurry. That'll come in important in a second. And I was coming up to the entrance and exit of a McDonald's right on Main Street here in the city I live in. It wasn't very busy at all. And I have to deal with this every day. There's people coming and going. Today it's icy and snowy outside too, so I got, I almost slipped and fell a few times. As I'm coming up to the entrance and exit, I see, sure enough, this happens every day, I see a car turn out of the drive-thru. And I know that, I'm going to have to either stop and let him go by, or he's going to stop and let me go by. A lot of times I would rather just let the car go by in front of me because I hate being rushed. I hate walking in front of a car. A lot of times I feel like I can't trust somebody, to actually stop and not run me over, seriously. Anyway, so I see this car and it's like, okay, so as I'm coming up to the walking in front of this car, it slows down and pretty much comes to a stop about 20 feet back. So it's pretty clear, he's giving me a space to walk through. So I actually go out of my way and do the courteous thing, and I go and break into a bit of a jog, even though it's a slippery, snowy day. I'm just like, I did a video talking about this too before. Are you a person that hustles across the sidewalk, the street crossing, or are you a person that takes their sweet time? And I am a person that hustles. That's just my nature. So I kind of hustle, even though it's slippery, right? I get maybe a little close to the sidewalk, and I just stop into a fast walk, right? And just as I'm getting to the sidewalk, now I had this up like this, so I was covering my ears a bit, and I hear the driver say, "A-hole," except the whole thing, like ass, H-O-L-E. And I have my head down, I'm walking like I usually do, and I hear it, and he's turning this way. So right in my head right there, the question is, how am I going to play this? How am I going to let this play out? And I'm not even angry. I'm not, because the first thing I think of is, this is just so, and there's nobody else on the sidewalk around me. There's nobody else out there. So I'm the only person he could possibly be talking to. Okay, so I just keep walking because I don't feel angry about this. It seems silly to me, first of all. And I kind of just look out of the corner of my eye, and sure enough, the windows rolled down in the car all the way down. So he, it was his voice I heard. His radio isn't on, and he's kind of looking over, like he makes like he's looking at the sidewalk, he's not looking at me. It's kind of, it's, what can I do? What am I going to do about, am I going to do anything about this? Should I be angry? So this is something I wanted to share with you guys, because I'm willing to bet this happens to a lot of people every day. Or I don't know, maybe it's just me that gets called an a-hole every day. I can't be angry about this. It's a younger guy, probably in his 20s. And you know what the first thing I think of is, I think this guy might have seen me before because I walk and bike around this area all the time. I think this guy might be envious. Even though it's a Sunday, maybe he's going to work. Maybe he works there. I don't know. When this happens, I think people might be envious that I have the time, the inclination, the motivation to get out there, and because I'm clearly dressed like I'm exercising. That's honestly the first thing that pops into my head, is that this person is kind of envious. Really, it's like this person might not have the time or the drive to work out or be in good shape. Because I am in pretty good shape. I've been working out every single day, 3 hours a day for 16 years now. So, I would hope there's some payout. So I don't get angry. I think most of all, it says something about this person, that there's something in this person's life that they're unhappy about. In the back of my head, though, I'm thinking there's a point where I have to draw a line. You can only let somebody call you, because what happens if this guy does live around there and he keeps going by and he thinks, hey, this guy's not going to do anything, and he says it again, or he drives close to me, or drives dangerously close to so in the back of my head, I think, this is silly. This is ridiculous. And it says more about this kid. This kid has some kind of issue. He's unhappy with himself or something, because he doesn't know me. And on top of everything, I hustled across the street in front, I hustled in front of his car so he wouldn't have to wait as long. And he still has the gumption to call me an a-hole, It's, what can you do besides for laugh at that? But in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, and I try to remember the car and the person, because, this time it's funny, but don't think, don't mistake, like they say, don't mistake my kindness for weakness, because I would draw a line, if this happened a second time, I'm sure I would say something about it. There was a time not too long ago where I would immediately feel that I'd have to say what, there was a time where I'd actually run for the car, like I would actually chase that car down the street like an idiot. And if I, and do something stupid if I actually caught up or if that person got out. Another thing you have to be aware of too is, when somebody does this too, there could be, the person could actually have something on him, that he feels brave enough to say something like this. Like I said, I'm a decent sized guy. I'm 6'3". I work out all the time, and and in the back of my head, I think this kid has issues. And he feels good about himself. That he could safely call somebody my size, an a-hole, and then drive away. He got away with it. It makes him feel a little better about himself. And part of me actually feels, like I said in the last video, I actually feel pity sometimes for people like this. But there's a line, Anyway, I just wanted to talk about this. I actually found it kind of amusing, honestly. Like I said, it says a lot about the person. If you're one of these people that does stuff like this, I don't know. I would think twice. And it's not about getting your butt kicked. It's just about you look foolish. You do, and it says more about the person doing this than anybody else. Have a good Sunday. I'll be back later with another video.